Ready to get? Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board Workshop session. Today is Friday, August 16th, 2024. Let's turn the workshop session over to Mr. Schroeder, and he'll run through the packets that we'll have or be hearing from starting our public hearing starting at 9 o'clock. Brett?
Morning. Okay, so again with the pictures, I don't understand why these pictures come across looking like a scary mansion. Yeah, it's really,
Yes.
I tried taking the picture, making a PDF before I put it in the system. I tried putting it in as it came. I'm just like, I give up. It is what it is. However, we're going to see a little bit different elevations that Ms. Chapman is going to bring today. They've tweaked them just a little bit, and the biggest tweak that they've done is change the brick color.
So, all right, so we've approved this applicant twice already before.
With different, each time's been different. Yep.
Okay, so
and this one is different again.
So this is different again.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be our third time, okay?
Yeah, but all we're doing basically is the building changes and so just elevations and materials. Nothing else
Okay.
is
No landscaping, no site plan, okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, yeah, I have to say these pictures or renderings are very difficult to understand
Yes.
what they're trying to do.
We also really, one thing that we really enjoy about the things is these awnings, but I don't think they really represented them right. They shouldn't be this real wide stripe. I think they should be that little more narrow stripe, black and white kind of awning. It really just adds to the what's going to be kind of that corner right there from TBB to, hopefully that next little building thing will get something soon, and then this building. So
are we considering this a new application or a modification?
it's a modification.
So,
Everybody can. The only person that wasn't was
Teresa
and she's not here anymore.
and Eric didn't participate, but he's not here today, so.
Right.
Everybody has said
So we're good with everybody.
Well, Jennifer wasn't here, right?
If it's to make a quorum, she can participate.
Oh, okay.
If Holly comes, Jennifer won't be able to participate.
Okay, so, all right,
It's not a new application.
okay.
Well, though, she is changing materials and
But you're basing your decision on what
on
she
past
presented
other
before.
details and stuff. Yeah. So it's not a
Okay.
new.
All right, Jennifer, you'll get to be excused. Have an extra cup of coffee on us,
So was this
if Holly doesn't show up.
was this a one-story building before?
It was. And then it became a two-story at the back. And then now it's a two-story all the way through.
All the way. So it's
Yeah.
So it is,
pretty significant change then. That's
Yeah, the upper is, my understanding, is going to be residential now.
I thought the upper was gonna be her office. and then
It
the
was,
lower
and then she
gonna
went back
be-
to zoning and got residential approved.
Oh, so it's really, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
So the bottom will be office use, retail use, whatever, and then the top will be the residential.
okay.
And she's got some,
Because, there was only 3 renderings in the
Yeah.
package, or 3.
yeah.
Okay, sounds like we'll have some questions for the
Yep.
applicant. then. All right, so
Then
that's
American Pride Bank is out on North Point Parkway, and basically they want to paint the building. The issue that I have with the colors, I like the colors themselves. However, the bank right next door is the same thing,
the Truist Bank.
Truist Bank. So it's like, and this bank's brick isn't as bad as what the Truist Bank brick was earlier on. However, staff doesn't like this
Racing stripe.
racing stripe, especially when it gets to this. That just does not look good at all. So I would say leave all that.
About the same.
If you want to do the black roof and black gutters, that fine, but I wouldn't do that.
How long
I
is it?
think it is it's a brick soldier course.
This has been vacant for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little while. Yeah.
Regions Bank, right? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
really,
glad to see a vacant building being
yeah, absolutely.
repurposed and reused.
Absolutely. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm okay with the color as it is. I could do a black roof and leave the brick just like it is.
We can encourage them to save money. They don't need to do anything there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I don't think it's a great brick, but
I don't know that it's great, but it's not that pink orange or.
well, that's true. It could be worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be worse. And we don't know what it would look like with a good cleaning either.
Yeah, true.
You know.
Yeah, it's stained up pretty good right now. Yeah. I'm just not sure that buff color would look good with a black roof, though, either.
Yeah, it probably would be better brown.
Actually, it would certainly give it some better contrast because it's all kind of in the same color
Yes.
theme, if you
Yeah.
want to say, look at it. All kind of the beigey, tanny.
And not that I'm, not that I'm opposed to the gray and black. I mean, I love those colors.
I did have the same thought on the stripe, though.
Yeah. Oof. And I think it's just that circle top. If that went straight across, I think it might be different. But when I saw that circle top, I'm like, oh boy, that's.
Well, it's a pretty wide band too, because that's looks like that's 2 brick
Yeah.
courses, soldier courses, so that's roughly 16 inches, and that arched header, I guess that's probably roughly 16 inches too. I just feel like when they paint a brick building, you lose some of the detailed character of the brick. Especially this looks like it's got some recessed brick areas, banding lower down at about 2.5, right below the windowsill. And then
Yeah, it
down
does
about
look like
mid-
there's
they're band. You can see
something there because there's some shadow lines.
well, you can
and-
see the recess when you look over towards the door there where the storefront is to the
Yeah.
right. You can see where the recessed brick is.
Yeah.
There's two recess courses. You go up and there's a single recess course, so you just tend to lose some of that.
What if they brought their black to below the window? If they want to do the black and gray.
You know, what I was thinking was that I like the black on the downspouts and the gutters. If they wanted an accent, I think a darker shade of gray as opposed to
I agree, Frank.
black, right?
Yeah.
The black is just, it's a pretty bold contrast.
Yep. Okay, we can beat that one to craziness.
Yeah.
All right. So that's American Pride Bank, okay?
Yep.
And then we have
And then
Mr.
Mr. White Creative, pretty easy one. Simply here because it's in the downtown, but it meets our intent and our ordinance. They are, I think, 3 inches thick letters.
They have the blade sign
And they have a little
the
blade sign there.
wall sign.
That's a 2-inch thick. Here they are. 1.5 letters. So they could be a little thicker, but they wouldn't have to be. But
I thought I saw somewhere it said 3 inches.
I thought so too. But this looks like 1.5.
Yeah, it does.
Is it being held off the wall by 3 inches?
Oh, that it's going to be held off the wall. So maybe the whole thing is
The
3
whole
inches.
thing is 3
Yeah.
inches. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because there's an 1.5 the detail below there in the circle. There's an 1.5 standoff, so the whole thing would be 3 inches,
3 inches, okay.
and it's halo lit. So, and I like that they did the sides of the letter in the same color as the front. That kind of gives it I feel like a little better look. And that's it.
Okay, very good. Quick question for Ellie. So we've got some new kind of procedures. Are you going to talk about
Right.
that during the workshop, or are you going to do that?
No, I can go ahead and tell you, we have the city attorney has advised us that we need to read a statement about our public hearing procedures. We have to allow the applicant 10 minutes, that's the minimum, and then whatever time we allow the applicant, including the proponents, we have to allow the same amount of time to people who are against the application, which we don't have an issue with that very much in DRB, and our cases take longer than 10 minutes, so the chair has the authority to allow more time than 10 minutes, and so I don't know do you want to start saying you'll allow 30 minutes, or do you want to just say when you decide you want to cut it off, you'll cut it off?
Well, maybe we start with 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, for the applicant, and then we can, as we.
Because I have to keep time,
Oh,
so
you have
you
to
want me
keep
to let you
time.
know, because I'm pretty sure it's going to take, our cases take longer than 10 minutes.
Yes,
so.
they do, especially for some of the applications.
Right.
Well, now, so we have I'm just kind of going through this. This is our first time.
Right.
If the applicant speaks for, say, 10 minutes or 15 minutes,
Then
I call for public comment.
And then they would only, and the people in favor, if the applicant took the whole 10 minutes
Right.
on a, say, in city council, they wouldn't have any time for comments in favor unless the mayor gave them that opportunity. But the other side gets 10 minutes, whatever,
What if somebody wants to come up and speak for the application, say? Do they also get?
If they've already used their 10 minutes, no. If
10 is a minimum.
The applicant is considered.
Right,
So you don't
applicant
have
is
to do more
considered part of the
No,
proposal.
but I'm just thinking somebody else wants to come up and speak. Do they get another 10 minutes?
Only if the mayor allows it.
Oh, okay.
There's they only start off with the minimum of 10 with the 10 minutes.
All right, well, this will be a work in progress. How about
But
that?
for us, it's different because, and I cleared that with the city attorney that,
Yeah, we don't have.
we don't have.
I think a decent way to try and judge it for you would be to change your public comment and just say something at the beginning of the case, like,
Okay.
just so everyone's aware, do we have anyone that wants to speak for or against this thing once the applicant has spoken? And then we still have to give it even if they don't say it. But if they did, then that would give Ellie the opportunity, okay, well, now I need to jot the time down and see how much time the applicant takes, and then we could go from there.
Because if the applicant took 10 minutes, the proponent wouldn't there wouldn't be no one else would be able to speak unless Richard gave them the opportunity to speak. It's the applicant plus those in favor that add up to the 10
I think
minutes.
we have a lot of people here tonight.
But that's why I don't really know if that's a great way to do it. I think we should just,
I thought it was each side got
No.
10 minutes.
each side is 10 minutes, but the applicant and his proponents are the
Already
10
have 10
minutes.
Unless
Richard says they
So
can
who's
have
the
more
other
time.
side then for the each?
Against.
Against.
Right. So the proponents would be included in the thing. So it's just a, do we have anybody that wants to make that so that we start the time?
No,
That's my
what
thought.
I don't know if you're understanding that if the applicant speaks for 10 minutes and someone wants to speak in favor, unless Richard says they can have more time, they can't speak.
Right. No,
Okay,
I understand
okay,
that.
all
I'm
right.
just saying, but if they speak for 30 minutes, we have to give opponents 30 minutes.
The opportunity for 30,
Yeah,
like if there's no one,
for 30.
right.
That's 10.
You don't
We
have
don't
to-
ever have a phone.
We don't have to sit here for
Okay.
30 minutes, yeah.
And
It's a work in progress, but we
Right.
have to give equal amount of time for opponents and application.
Could you
and
imagine
we're
when
probably
Alpha
never
was
going to run into this, but it's cumulative, right? So all the opponents would have a cumulative time that adds up to.
No, per
No,
case.
it's 10 minutes total.
No, I'm talking about whatever we give the proponents. Now, somebody wants to speak in up, 3 people want to speak in up.
They only have 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
They only have
per case.
they only have the same amount of time that we gave the proponent.
I know, I wasn't presuming we only gave the proponents
Right.
10 minutes. Whatever
Yeah.
we gave the
Whatever we
proponents,
gave them,
All right.
Each
the
individual.
opponent, no, not each individual, total.
Aggregate time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
if
right,
there's
well,
50 people out here,
Yeah.
they get 10 minutes.
Because that's,
Because that happens every meeting.
because that's part of the reason we're doing this, is people are repetitive, and then people come in, like, and the applicants sometimes, not to our meetings, but sometimes come in with stuff we've never seen before, which holds up the meeting, you know.
That's
So
like
we're-
planning commission and council, I
right.
think is
Yeah.
where this
So-
will
Yeah,
really.
planning commission and council are the big
Right. And
drivers, but I totally agree that we have to apply equal
Oh, yeah.
Right.
things across all our boards and commissions. So
Have we ever
it
had
just
a
has to
proponent?
be,
we've had a couple,
Yeah.
yes.
I remember one for sure.
I think I remember one.
That mural.
Was it, the mural, that's
the
right.
mural. Yeah,
Well, we had
and
the-
usually
We had the
what
mural
we've
we had
had
down at North Winds Parkway when they were doing the office building. We had the FedEx building when they were painting the back of the FedEx building on not West
Yeah,
Side.
Morrison.
Morrison Parkway. So yes, we've had,
We've had
we
a
don't-
few,
but-
and usually they're
Right.
really quick too.
They're usually not, like, you know, when they come to planning commission or council, they take a long time.
well, and it just means that group then has to prepare in
Right.
advance for their 10
Right.
minutes. Or, you know, you just can't
Right.
be haphazard.
Yeah, if you
Well,
have 50 people out here, you better get a
get organized.
spokesperson.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Understand, okay. All right, very good. And I also understand that the applicants now have to make sure they state their name and
Address.
address, right?
Yes.
So, okay, I'll try to.
And I'm gonna
make
read
sure.
that.
Not that I haven't been asked.
I'll be reading the procedure. And,
Okay.
you know, we'll have to remind people of that if they don't.
Okay, very good. All right, it'll be a work in progress, so just poke me if I do something not,
Did anybody
can
see
poke me
the Mammoth building on Old Milton? It's
The what?
painted now. The Mammoth car wash building,
Oh, I
it's
have not
painted,
been.
and it looks really good.
does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. No, I haven't been by there.
You'd drive by, take a look, because it turned out
Is the
really nice.
Couch put up their stars.
Yes, I saw that.
I think it looks great, personally. But
Yeah. To me, it really stood out when I was first driving down there and they had just painted. They weren't even done painting yet. And I'm like, yeah, yeah.
They did a great job.
I
know
think
I know
that-
y'all aren't fans, but I love it. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I almost turned in there to get gas.
You didn't.
Texaco.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from board members? All right. This workshop session is adjourned. Go get your coffee cups filled. We'll be back here at 9 o'clock to get our public hearing started. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Ellie, we ready? All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design and Review Board public hearing. Today is Friday, August 16th, 2024. Welcome. Just a gentle reminder, if everyone will make sure they silence their electronic devices this morning. And our first order of business is roll call. So it looks like we're missing a few members this morning. Mr. Corkle is moving his triplets into Mercer and Macon this morning, so he's got, I hope he has some help moving his three boys moving into, yes. I hope they're in the same building, how about that, or living close to one another, but good luck with that. And then Eric Rowan is, Mr. Rowan's attending a wedding this weekend, so he's not with us. And we still have enough folks here for a quorum, so we're all good. So thanks for being here this morning. Okay, if we will stand, we'll face the flag and have the Pledge of Allegiance this morning, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you for that. All right, do we have any items from staff this morning?
Yes, Mr. Schroeder's birthday is Sunday, I believe.
Ooh.
And my birthday is Wednesday.
Oh, happy belated birthday and happy future birthday. They're both 29 years old. What do you mean? Welcome. Okay, very good. Well, happy birthday. Anything else? Nope. Okay, very good. Any items from staff or from board members this morning? Any birthdays, anniversaries, or anything?
Just had our 39th.
There you go. Fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah, just
Wow.
a few days ago.
Well done. Good job.
It's almost a long time.
Almost a long time.
Some days. That's my wife. She would say always.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Congratulations on that. Okay, our next item on the agenda is to approve our January 19th, 2024 meeting minutes. I assume everybody's had a chance to look at those. Any comments or questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes, please?
I just had, there was one typo on page 1.
Okay.
The very Kathy Cook Director of Community and Economic Development presented, and there's a T. And that's all it is.
Okay, very good. All right. Anything else, Holly? That was it? Okay.
That's the only thing I saw.
All right, very good. I think that's, we make that quick correction there. All right. Somebody,
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the July 19th, 2024 Design Review Board meeting minutes.
okay, a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer. Holly. All right, any questions or comments about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board meeting minutes from July 19th, 2024, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed? No opposition? All right, the minutes are approved, 5-0. Thank you for that. Okay, good morning. So our first applicant this morning is going to be A&A Chapman Holding. Oh, okay. All right, bear with us here a minute while.
I'm going to read the public hearing procedures for all our public hearings. An individual requesting to be heard on a matter related to the purpose of the hearing must be recognized by the chair before addressing the DRB. Upon rising to speak, the speaker must identify himself or herself and furnish a home address before proceeding with any comments or remarks. The board will allow proponents a total of 10 minutes to speak in support of an application, and then opponents will be allowed 10 minutes to speak in opposition. For our purposes, for DRB, a lot of times our applications take longer, so it's at the discretion of the chair to allow more time. But whatever time we allow for the applicant and proponent, we would have to allow the same amount of time for the opponents. Comments are accepted first from the applicant, then followed by a person speaking in favor, and then those from or in opposition. Upon a conclusion of any closing comments or presentations, the chair will allow the applicant to offer a rebuttal if any time is remaining in the original allotted 10 minutes.
Okay, Ellie, thank you for that. All right, I'm going to nominate you as the official timekeeper, so I don't have to do that. Okay, very good, thanks for that. All right, so bear with us as we go through this. This
So
is,
do you want me to give you a 10-minute time, or do you want to just let them go? Because it's the first application is going to probably take.
why don't you, all right, we'll start with the 10 minutes, but why don't you, when there's like 2 minutes to go, just give us a 2-minute warning, how about that? Or I guess the applicant a 2-minute warning, and we'll see where we are. I think what this also is going to do to us is have us hold back some of our questions as they're maybe presenting the applications there. Just think about this, just kind of hold your questions so they can finish their presentation. So we start interrupting, I'm just thinking, how do you keep timing on that? I mean,
Yeah, I think
or is that,
I think that for DRB, it's just different. I think that I probably just need to, because when this all
just
gets,
jot it down, because you do it anyway.
right,
For your tracking, jot the start time down.
I'll tell, like, if it's okay for today, I'd like to, I
Oh,
don't, it's your meeting, but it's hard for me to keep track of what's going on and then give you a 2-minute warning. And,
Okay.
so it's kind of like,
okay,
if you want
I
to
think
start.
interrupting
Right.
going would throw everybody kind of off track if we, every 8 minutes we said, okay, well,
Yeah.
there's your 2-minute warning.
Panic,
Okay.
I think it panics people. But, part of the interrupting is you saying, okay, let's start with landscaping. Okay, while you're on that page. So I don't think, they're not really questions, you're helping them present.
well, yes.
So we
it's-
understand it, do you know what I mean?
Yes, trying to give some sort of order of,
Yeah.
right. All right, let's play it by ear today. This is going to be kind of our first shot at this, so, first run, so, okay. All right, so our first applicant this morning is A&A Chapman Holding. You are here, come on up. If you'll make sure you speak into the microphone, give us your name and your address, and then let's give us an overview of what we have in our packet today this morning. How about that? We'll start with that then. Oh, yes. So and Ms. Sprayberry is going to recuse herself since she wasn't in the presentation last October. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. All right.
Good morning, my name is Jean Chapman from 1218 Basement Drive, Benson, Georgia. This is our third DRB meeting with this project. Initially it was a 2-story commercial, but we could not fit the parking in the back that was required. So it went down to, we redesigned it for sort of like a first
Okay. All right, so let's just do this. Well, let's ask questions. Let's ask questions of the applicant this morning. And then,
Well, it looks like you have sample, are those samples of your, or is that, they're yours, or?
why don't you, yeah, why don't you,
Walk us through it, show us
yeah.
the sample.
All right, if you will, yeah, walk us through the materials, and as we look at the rendering, you can tell us where they are on the building, please.
So the majority of the building will be painted brick, and these are the colors that we selected. The majority of the buildings that will be painted brick, these are the colors that we selected. And
Alex, just, I'm sorry, is the microphone working, Brett? Is it?
so the building is painted brick with stone details, and it will have some stone corals over the parapet. This is the color that we selected, and the brick that we painted. We also have stone. This is the stone that we will be using for the headers and the fan ledge for the building. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you, so you said to be stone for the
Stone for the headers and a ledge for the building.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. Keep your rendering on the overhead, if you will. There we go. Perfect. So put one of the renderings, maybe of the front of the building. There you go. All right, show us again, kind of help us where the brick is, where the stone is, where the, all right, so the,
So the stone is on the headers.
so that's the stone,
Yes, and the brick, the body of the building is all painted brick.
okay?
And we also have stone on the windowsills as well.
All right,
And we do have a stucco band for the signage.
so that's a stucco band. All right, and then where did, okay.
And the cornice is,
How about like the water table? It even looks like a different color on the building than the body of the building, based on looking at, maybe it's not, maybe it's just a shadow.
No, it's a, now it works. Yes, so we do have a header, a stone header that's all the way around,
No, that-
a ledge, a stone ledge that goes all the way around too.
So, all right, help me understand, the water table
The water table, it's stone as well.
is stone,
Yes,
okay, also with the header on it,
yes,
all right.
the ledge.
Looks freaking
You know what, maybe the rendering of the back, the rear of the building gives us a little better understanding of the,
Oh, at the back, we don't have the stone. At the back, we have, there's a portion of the back that's brick, all brick, but the stone goes back. It's just the front side and the sides that are stone.
you know what would help us? It was kind of a description of where all this is happening, because I know you've got it all up here, and it's just trying to get it conveyed to us on a piece of paper.
I know.
All right, and then you look at towards the top of the building along the parapet, you've got a well-done parapet. You've like got some corbel brick, you've got some brackets, you've got
Yeah.
what? Have you detailed that out?
Not yet, not yet. At this point, I need the input from a structural engineer, so that's going to be depending on that.
Okay, because I love the detail, I just like to make sure this, because when Mr. Schroeder goes out there at the end of the day and this building is built, he's gonna hold this up to your building and say,
Yeah.
okay, does it look like this? Because this is what we've approved. So-
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really a question of cost, so, that's where it comes to.
Well,
Everything's
we're-
possible. It's just
We're
a
not,
question
we're not
of-
worried about the
Yeah.
cost up here. You may be, but we're not. We're worried about what it looks like type thing, so.
Yeah, no. I don't have an issue with that either. I think it's all very doable.
Okay, so, do we have any, you've done some great renderings. Do you have any just, what I would call building elevations to help us understand? Because it looks like there's, for the elevator or the stairs, there's an overrun area on top of the roof, for instance.
Yes, no, we don't have them at this moment right now, no. But yes, we can produce them very easily.
Okay. Because I'd like to see what that material is or what that consists of and how high that is. Okay. So let me go back, and this may be a question for staff. The footprint of the building, has the footprint of the building changed?
No,
Okay.
no, the footprint of the building changed.
So
Did
it's the
not
same
change at all.
footprint, it's just gotten taller, or, okay. All right, and then it looks like in some areas, I'm kind of going back to the side elevation or the front, you've got kind of some railings there, some kind of faux balcony feature. You know, are those operable windows, or those?
Yes, those are
They are,
French
so those will
windows that
open
open
up.
inside, yes.
Because that's going to be the resident.
That's the residence, that's
Okay,
right.
and it's just, on the second floor, it's just one resident?
Yes, just one.
Up there on-
4,000 square foot residential unit.
Okay. All right, and then talk to us about the window frames and the glass. Do you have any idea of what that color is going to be?
Yes, we're thinking that it's going to be a black. This is
Black?
A black.
Okay, like a black anodized.
Yes.
So that will be on the first floor and the second floor?
Yes, everywhere.
Okay, and then how about the railing feature, or that's going to be black as well?
Yes, black as well.
And
with,
it looks like it has an accent, top rail
a
accent?
finch, yeah, with a lot of times we do a wooden, like a cedar top detail, and then the half-inch rods.
Are they horizontal or vertical, the rods?
The horizontal rods.
Okay, and then you've got some light fixtures on the outside of the building. You've got some gooseneck, kind of looks like maybe for some of your signage, and then you've
Yep.
got some up-down lighting. Have you selected those fixtures yet?
Not at the moment.
Okay. These are kind of things we like to see and understand and know before,
Absolutely, yeah.
as we do an approval.
Yeah, and there's an emblem in the front of the building there on that rendering? What is
Oh, let's
that?
see. What'd you see? Oh, there it is, yes.
Right below the address?
Oh, that's the logo for your, the metal, your metal thing. That's the logo for your practice, right? The decorative.
I thought Kevin just brought up.
Okay, it's a decorative detail.
I think I could probably help with that. On the original, we had that blank area in there, and
Yeah.
we tried to figure something out to do in that area. So it's just an architectural detail.
Just ornamental.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because we asked for something in that area because it was so blank on the, I was just looking, in the center right there, so.
Okay.
This is the sample of the metal canopy, so we will be selecting the light fixtures to match this color and
Yes,
the
it's
hue.
the black metal.
You just said metal canopy. Where's the metal canopy?
In the back of the building.
Oh,
Back here. I'm gonna show it.
okay. Looks like you've got two canopies, maybe one for the unit entrances, and then maybe a shade structure for some of the cars that are back there.
That's right. The two
Yes.
residents the one resident gets 2 parking spots that need to be covered.
Yes, and we discussed this with Brian Borden, and he said he was fine with that structure.
So is that structure, is it a metal structure?
Metal structure, yes.
Okay.
Does that metal structure protrude under the other awning, or are those separated?
No, it's difficult to marry those two
Okay.
together, so there's
So just
usually
a little
bit of a
bit-
gap.
only a tiny bit of rain will fall on his or her head.
That's
Okay.
right.
I'm compelled to share with you my observation here. The building you brought us the first time was very well done. This is another admirable piece of architecture. The rustication and detailing is exciting, because you could have brought us a lesser building that could be approved, but you've been well served, Doctor. I do have a question about some of the planting you have in front of the building. For instance, is Summit, the two columnar pieces of, the two columnar trees in front of the center of the building, is that at the, did the rendering take an opportunity to put that in there, or do you have that planned for the final planting?
Yeah, we do have a landscape design
Yeah.
that was approved from before.
Mm-hmm.
The change that we had to make was because of the rezoning. We had to add the sidewalk and the 6-foot planter, and there was a limitation as to how high the trees could be, because we do have overhanging power lines.
Okay, all right. Another observation I have here is that those two columnar trees that you have in the center are taking away from the presentation of the building, in my opinion. Too often, a lot of people who design planting will put too many plants in front of a building where they don't necessarily need to be. And
Is it required?
I'm pointing out the ones in the center more than the ones on the end. But even the one on the right side, as we're viewing it, takes a bit away from your building. But you're not here to talk about that today, so those are just
Yes.
my general observations.
But we will definitely pass it on to Sarah so she can.
Yes, I believe the architectural rendering doesn't exactly reflect the height of the trees that were approved. So we can definitely just go by that approval.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want, we don't want to take away from
Richard.
Alexandra's creativity there, or her masterpiece.
It's been 15
by hiding it.
minutes so far.
Okay. I think we can continue on with this discussion.
Okay.
What I'm finding is the landscape plan that we approved is changing.
And that may be based on the requirements for
rezoning.
zoning. Yeah.
There's only one,
I'm looking at the one that you approved, and I don't think it's changed significantly.
there's two entrances now shown on the front, entering in the front, and the landscape plan we approved only had one.
No,
And
it's
I'm looking at
Farmland Associate Landscape Plan?
October. And they have a big tree right in the middle. I'm looking at,
Yeah, that
an
shows
older
it shows
version?
two entrances.
not in the package.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things. I think there's two entrances to the building, but there's only one walkway up to the front of the building, whereas in the new rendering, it's showing two sets of stairs, isn't it, going up into the,
Okay, that landscape
well, I can't really
plan,
tell, it's behind the car, I guess I was,
Yeah,
no, there is a second set of stairs on these renderings.
Yeah.
so the landscape plan that was just up doesn't reflect the landscape plan I was looking at from October.
This isn't a landscape plan.
I'm not, no, there was something just on this monitor, just a second ago.
I was showing the council seat doors.
Oh, yeah, you're seeing what's approved.
No, I'm not based on what,
There it is.
that's not what we approved.
What?
That
What's on the
landscape,
What are they looking at?
What you're looking at.
Right
Are
there.
you looking at this?
You know,
I'm looking at that, that's not, I'm saying that's not what we approved.
Yes, it is.
It might,
I
I think
pulled
it is.
that from your approval packet.
I think,
I'm-
if you look at those two big trees, I think they're very lightly shown on this drawing.
There's a big tree right there in the middle.
There's one in the middle, and they've got the one in the middle on here. I think
Okay.
if you look close, it looks like there's a very light,
Don't use this.
I'm not, no, I'm looking
He's
at.
looking
our-
on his computer.
I'm looking at, I'm sorry, I've gone back on my on my laptop, looking at the October landscape plan.
This one?
Yeah, but I've got one that's not colored.
Yeah, and the one that's not colored, those two big trees don't really show up.
This is L3. I'm sorry, what drawing is that one? Bottom right. Or is it-
Ellie, can you scoot that
There
over
it
to
is.
the
This is the
left
next
so we
sheet
can
is
see
the
what
colored one.
plant
look
is
at the
labeled
next
CR2?
All right, bear with me, I'm just trying to get,
R1 from
Okay.
Associates is the.
R1, so R1 is the, okay.
And this is staying the same? Substantially?
Okay.
Okay, all right, just.
Well, good. My point was to make sure that what you're actually going to do is not what we see in the rendering, because renderings don't always reflect the precise.
Yes, and this is true. A lot of
Design.
times we put landscape around it, but it's not necessarily done in conjunction with the
Yeah,
landscape architect.
yeah, the illustrator doesn't always go to what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So pardon my interruption with all
All
that.
right, so you're saying the landscaping is not changing at all? Nothing?
The only change since last October is because of the rezoning and because we were now having to squeeze in 6-foot planter before the sidewalk. That was not going to be enough space to have just one central staircase to the building, and because of the grading issues. So that's why we had put 2 staircases instead of 1. But other than that, it is the same.
Okay. All right, kind of a minor. All right, very good. Okay.
And
We've
that
got-
retaining wall on the staircase, that looks, it's a brick that matches the building with a cast stone cap.
Yep.
Okay. And quickly going back to the brick, I'm sorry, you showed us brick, but it looks like it's not painted, it's been coated.
It will be painted. It's going to be
Will be
painted.
painted.
And this is the color that we picked.
Okay, and you're gonna paint the mortar color too then, so everything will
Yes.
be painted. So you'll put the brick, you'll install the brick and then paint the,
Full-on painted brick, that's correct.
okay. All right, going back to the elevation, so I'm gonna turn to staff again. I mean, all the discussions that we've had this morning, Brett, even though there's no written description, are you clear on this?
Yeah, I'll
Or,
review when they do the building plans, yeah.
well, or we can have them, as a courtesy to all of us, just come up and make some notations on the elevations to show us what is the cast stone and what is the painted brick. Would that help?
We could submit just the elevations that we
Okay.
plan to submit for the building permit, so that we'll have
And
all the
submit
materials
that-
labeled and.
Submit that to staff, and if there's any significant deviations, then they would
Yeah.
come back to us.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm just kind of trying to walk us through the process here.
I don't think we talked about that front awning, did we?
The front awning.
Those 2 awnings?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a sample of the awning, the front awnings?
I don't. My initial plan was to use the same metal canopy in the front, which is what the last 2 buildings show and were approved. But through the rezoning process, we were asked to use these awnings, and that there were plenty of samples that are in the downtown area. So we didn't think that we needed to present samples since it was a recommendation by the city.
Okay, I think we certainly need to see something, and whether the stripes are very wide or much more narrow, for instance. But is this gonna be like a fabric awning is what you're looking at?
That's what we were asked to use.
Okay, and then are the sides of it are they fabric too, or is it open, for instance? Can you?
They should be closed.
Be closed, okay? All right,
Is that a brown or a black on that?
Black,
Black?
black and white.
Black and white? Is it a true white or like a creamy white?
The description that was given to us by the rezoning committee was black and white striped awning, cloth awning with scalloped edges and metal frame. So we were just basically drawing that.
Yeah, I don't know about the scalloped edges, but yes.
So I think from what we've gone through, I think, I mean, substantially, I think it's fine. There's some details that are not, we're not totally clear on today. I'm not sure they're substantive, I mean, to the point that I think staff could handle those details. You know, you're not sure if the parapet is gonna stay the way it is, the details on the light fixtures. We talked about the stair tower, right, but the material, but I think the materials are gonna match the rest of the building, right? It's gonna
Yes.
be brick, and the awnings are gonna be black and white stripe, but we don't know how big the stripes are. I mean, you know, so it's kind of details. I think substantially the building architecture is, for me, I think it's fine. I'd be comfortable leaving those details to staff. I think we
The
just
next
approve it
stage will
as,
show that. 'Cause
you know.
We'll be doing basically the permit
Yeah,
side that will
permit
have
side.
the detailing, you know, we have to actually draw up all the
yeah,
stuff. So.
right. And we've talked through where each of the materials go, so it's on the record,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's
true.
it's on the record as to
Good point, Frank.
what materials are where.
That's true. A question about the residential on the second floor, will they have access to the roof?
Yes.
And will that be something like they'll put a patio up there, or they'll grill up there, or they'll,
Yes, there's a small patio with a little covered area and an area that's open. So,
It sounds like a fun place to live.
yeah, it
What's
should
the
be.
cover look? So there's a covered area. Will that be visible from the street?
No, I've been going through great lengths to
Okay.
keep everybody from pushing things out and making sure it's all in the center of the building. So yes, it's.
Okay.
The parapet now has gotten very tall, so it's, you know, by the time that this is all the way at the back, I don't think that you're gonna see much of it.
okay, and then any kind of rooftop equipment? I mean, there's gonna be an
Yes.
air conditioning condensing unit that may be on the roof or on the ground?
That's right, and in the last go-round, we ended up talking the MEP engineer to just give us a really flat, wide ones that will not protrude. But because now we have this really nice parapet all the way around that's going to be at least 4 feet tall, then we should be good.
Okay.
My only comment is I think for the awning, that I don't think the white should be a stark bright white, because I don't think that would look good with the cream, you know, that would be one thing I would.
You think it should match more of this creamy white that,
Right.
Yeah, I think
Color.
they can get that, actual, when it gets down to that, get the actual sample before they order the awnings and bring it in, we'll look at it with the creamy bricks and stuff and see, yeah, I agree, it shouldn't be a white light.
Yeah. That's my only comment.
Yeah, can you hold the color thing up, please? I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, okay.
So you wanna-
What's the name of that color?
Yeah, I just wanted to,
Oh,
just wanted to see it because it's hard on the
Yes, it
overhead,
is.
right?
Very-
Kind of washed out. What the color looks like. Okay. Yeah, it is creamy.
Yep. Richard, do you want to see the creamy? Good, okay. Thank you. Okay, any other questions for the applicant from board members this morning? There being none, all right, I'm going to ask for public comment. Is there any public comment about this applicant this morning? Okay, no public comment, for or against, all right? Very good.
I think, Ms. Palmer, just to further clarify that a little bit, when they went through the public hearing, it wasn't this creamy building, it was that browner
Right.
brick and
Yeah.
stuff, so the black and white would have gone with that. So I think staff will evaluate definitely
I
the
trust y'all.
exact color, yeah.
I'll sort of know what you're doing.
We have a director that has a pretty good eye too, so we'll show it to her.
Have the parapet, the light fixtures, the stair tower, the awnings, are we missing any other details? Working structure. Well, it's all black metal. That's true. Doesn't look like captured as far as. We're good then. We're covered with it. All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240033, A&A Chapman Holdings, motion to approve the elevation of materials as presented today with final staff approval on certain details that were not available today. For example, the parapet design, light fixture selection, stair tower materials and design, and front awning material. And the motion?
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. Owens. Any questions or comments about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All against, raise your hand. No opposition. Motion passes 4-0. All right, thank you for your time this morning. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. So how soon are you looking to get started for construction?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your time this morning. Okay. Yes. We'll get Jennifer back, yes. She probably, or Richard can.
I know.
Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, our next applicant is American Pride Bank. Come on up or come on down. And before you get started, we'll let Mr. Swing get back with his full cup of coffee here in just a minute. So, but come on down, please. Okay. All right, welcome. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for being prepared this morning. If you will introduce yourself, including giving us your address as well. Make sure you speak into the microphone and then give us an overview of what we have in our packet today, please.
Sure, my name is Eric Smith. I live at 3308A North Crest Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30340. Project manager with General Construction. Client is American Pride Bank. They purchased and closed on the property in April of this year. We were hired by American Pride Bank to do the interior renovation and some miscellaneous work on the exterior. So the existing roof is at the end of its lifespan. So we would like to replace the roof. The existing exterior is kind of a pinkish brick color. They would like to change that to a gray, very light gray with a black band and an off-white soffit. So the color of the new roof would be onyx black, Owens Corning. The black on the building would be Sherwin-Williams tricorn black, just a classic Sherwin-Williams industry standard color. The soffit would be an off-white, and then the body of the building would be a light gray. That's the gist of the exterior.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that explanation. All right, any questions from board members this morning on this application?
Or comments?
Or questions and/or comments, or comments?
I have some comments. I'll be honest with you. I actually prefer it not be painted because I don't think it looks pink. I think it looks like a tan cream. I also think that if you do paint it, you've got a gray cool color with a cream warm color that they don't really mesh to me. So one of those I think should change, probably the gray. But I am not in favor of painting the building. So I just think it looks better like that, because then you're gonna have a row of painted buildings, and it just makes it look like everything else, and it's just not something I'm in favor of.
Okay. Eric, why don't you pass with the board that has the actual samples on it, can you just pass that up or bring that up to us and let us look at that a little bit closer then? Thank you, because that's, yes, yes. And start with maybe Mr. Owens.
So what I've included here.
And if you'll speak into the, sorry, you have to speak into the microphone too, so.
Before I pass it along, I will point out that one of the photos is of the Truist Bank, which is directly next door to as you're facing North Point Mall. The Truist Bank is to the right, and then you have the entrance to the mall property on the Dillard side of the mall, and then you have this property. And then I include an existing photo of the property itself, and also a sign submittal that's currently in second submittal process with City of Alpharetta based on review comments. So the photo that's in there on the board reflects the comments that were made on the first sign review, just for reference for this purpose. And I'll pass the board along.
Yes, thank you. If you'll start with Mr. Owens there to your right, that'll be great. So Eric, while the board is being passed around, are there any thoughts on replacing, replanting, or fixing up the existing landscaping?
Yes, sir. So on the lead up to our existing interior building permit, during my preliminary pre-contract site visits, I had the pleasure of meeting one of the site inspectors for Alpharetta who was making his rounds, and we discussed the property because he was about to write a fine because the property had been sitting there for 5 years unattended. So everything's dead, pretty much. So what we're doing to the landscaping is the existing tree canopy matches everything else along the street. We're not touching any of the landscaping other than fixing all the existing irrigation, which is not working.
Okay.
And anything that's dead, we're replacing. So it matches the landscaping that was there when the first Citizens was there.
So like for like then, you're going to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're fixing the irrigation, which is obviously a key ingredient.
Yes,
in
sir.
keeping that alive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I think certainly that would help the overall look of the building.
Yeah, everything's overgrown. The parking lot has weeds about as high as I am, growing in the asphalt, so.
Okay. Just to give you. Yeah, because you can certainly tell that the actual color samples that we're looking at are a little bit different than what's on the overhead.
Yeah, it's hard to get a rendering,
So, yeah.
correct, yes, sir.
Is that a boarded up window on the front today?
I think,
That's where the old ATM was.
Oh, that's for the ATM.
So they just put there was an access point there that could be, somebody could break into the building so that when First Citizens left, they put that on the building.
will they put a new ATM machine in that spot
No, we're just going to mash the brick and just brick it in.
and then paint over it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then how about any of the drive-through structure? Is that all?
It's all existing. Yes, sir.
All remaining as is?
Yes, sir.
So it'll be a functional drive-through then when
Yes,
if
sir.
they open up, once they open up the bank?
Yeah, the structure and the components that make it a bank branch are all the same, and it'll be functioning exactly the same as it was when it was a First Citizens.
Well, my objection to painting the brick is when you do that, you lose a lot of the brick details. You lose a lot of what the character of the mortar color being a little different than the brick. You lose the recessed banding areas. I'm not real keen on that black racing stripe that looks very, very heavy. So I'm trying to figure out, is there another way to re-image this building with some other colors or doing something different? Understand the roof is at end of its useful life. It's probably, I think I remember seeing this building back in 2006, so that's 18 plus years ago, so it's been there a while. I appreciate a vacant building being repurposed and reused again. We certainly want that. I want it to be a great business, but I just can't. I'm having trouble visualizing it being repainted or being painted.
May I ask to preclude another round of review then, if this is not going to be approved, can we just replace the roof like for like, and that would be satisfactory to get our certificate of occupancy? Because the interior of the project is nominal.
So it's done? Is it?
Yeah, we're
ready?
ready for our final inspection in
Okay.
about 2 weeks. We're just wrapping up flooring and painting. So, and we're hoping to dovetail whatever happens here with the next 2 weeks.
Right.
Try to get them in the building by latter part of September.
Makes sense. Now, the other factor that necessarily we don't see all the time, what we used to, is signage. So I don't know how signage is going to factor into these colors that you may be presenting.
It's just the gray, their basic gray sign that they've already submitted. So the sign is currently in approval.
They've not
Oh.
submitted anything except monument signage.
Okay.
And we've had comment on that, so no wall signs have been.
Oh, understood. Okay. That's not part of my.
Your scope. Okay.
But I will say that the monument sign is an existing monument sign out on the street. And that's the same all the way down North
Yeah,
Point
there's a
Parkway.
theme,
All those
right.
monument signs are exactly the same.
So then the question comes, where the ATM was, what do they do?
There's
If
no
they-
signage there
If
or
they
anything.
can't find
It's about
matching
matching the
brick.
brick. If it's not painted, the brick would have to be matched
Yeah, we'll have to
pretty
match that.
closely.
Yeah. Or we'll have to do some sort of a,
Or you do a faux window, or you, I don't know, well, it's a different size and everything, isn't it, different location?
well, they utilize a glaze tiled brick for that band that wraps around the entire building. We could do something that just drops down right there, so.
Okay. All right, so when you say, going back to the roof then, changing it like for like, meaning keeping it the same color,
Yes, sir.
the brown or the tan or whatever that
Yes,
is?
sir.
I mean, you certainly got to replace the roof, I understand that, so okay.
Yeah, if it were me, I would just do the roof. I would keep, pressure wash the building, clean it up. And then the money you save on painting the brick, I would put into the landscaping, maybe some really nice planters that, flank the front doors, make it inviting, and make it inviting using those elements as opposed to painting the brick.
That's a good call.
And I guess all the trim probably needs to be repainted, I'm guessing, at this point, right?
Well, actually, it's the soffit material is a metal skin, so just
all
pressure
metal.
washing everything is,
Okay.
and we've held off on the pressure washing and touching any of the exterior components until after today.
Right,
So,
right.
Are there any thoughts on just looking at the existing photo? It looks like maybe there were some exterior lights or,
Yeah, there are wall packs
okay,
that are standard for all buildings. So we're replacing them like for like, where we cannot fix a ballast that is not working.
okay, so there's some security lamps, and then there looks like there's some blanked outlets for future lights, or maybe that's for a sign or something. You know what, it may be, there's one over the ATM, where the ATM was, and there's one over the center of the door just above it, so maybe those are for signs.
Yeah, well, yeah, the one over the door, yes, sir, that's for, when they submit for their exterior sign, they're looking at putting a light to illuminate that, so.
Okay.
But those are existing, because apparently when First Citizen was there, that was their sign areas as well. So that there was an uplight for those two areas.
Okay,
Yeah, and I know banks like to, their landscaping, they like to be minimal. So, you know, bad guy can't hide behind it or whatever. So that's understandable, but I think just, or even a bench, anything that kind of makes that inviting would be nice.
Okay.
So
okay.
if we're not approving the paint, there's nothing to approve.
Well,
They're gonna keep it the same.
you're gonna,
You have to deny, well, they're
They're
changing,
they're gonna put the same roof back on.
But you're not gonna approve what they're presenting
yeah, I
today.
think we have to either
Usually, when-
deny with conditions of, because I think Ms. Palmer should add her comments into an approval.
because typically, if you're gonna leave something the same, you don't need approval. You can, if you're gonna paint something the same color or replace the roof with the same thing, it's,
But you still have to deny what they're presenting today.
Yeah, I think we do have to.
right, but there's, but that's it.
it won't
It's
hurt just to deny it.
But, well, if we deny what they're doing or what they want to do,
And
and
then
then, but
give
they can go
comments.
back in and pressure wash and repaint stuff as it is and re-roof as it is. So, all right, before we start any kind of motion or anything, let me do this. I'd like to ask for public comment on this application. Is there any public comment for or against? All right, no public comment this morning. Okay. Just looking at the applicant or representing the applicant, is there any hesitation possibly from American Pride Bank or the owner that's,
I think that they would have liked to have seen the building kind of match their kind of standard colors, but I think that they understand that, I mean, the building does match, except for Truist and some of the other newer buildings on the corner of Haynes Bridge and North Point. Everything that's in that section of North Point, the building is a general representation of the architecture for the time.
well, and since this building has been built now, it's now part of the eco district too, which is, we're trying to get a little bit more, I say, eclectic in that.
Oh, yes, sir.
So that's why maybe you've seen some of the differences that have happened along North Point Parkway there. So.
Yeah, so to her point, it's definitely, they were trying to sort of match the Truist in a way, but reverting back to the exterior existing, I think they'll be fine with it. They'll save some money, so.
Okay.
all right, wait, you wanna do it?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Chairman, Dear B 240034 American Pride Bank, I make a motion that we deny the application with the condition that applicant upgrades the landscaping and considers some planters with staff approval in the motion.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Palmer, a second by Mr. Owens. Any questions or comments about the motion?
so just to clarify, you're,
I think we would have to break it up into two, like, I don't, because he's not presenting landscaping. He just,
no, he wouldn't have to present landscaping, but I think what we need either a different motion or a clarification that says we're allowing them to go with the existing if they do this,
Okay.
some landscape upgrade, because
so probably, no one seconded the motion yet.
Yes, they did.
Who did?
Mr. Owens seconded it.
Okay.
That's why we're having discussion.
Okay, I didn't hear that, all right, so.
Yeah, so there is a
Okay, let
motion
me
on the
withdraw.
floor. Now, maybe there's a friendly amendment that can be attached to this, if that's something. So, Brett, all right, help me out.
I just think it needs we're denying this color, but if you want to use what's existing, we're asking for this landscape upgrade. If you don't want to do the landscape upgrade, then we're not approving the existing thing, you're going to have to come back. That's kind of what I felt you guys were talking through. Because you don't want to leave the building as is,
Right.
like it is right now,
Right.
completely. You want it freshened up. So I think we're approving the existing colors of the building if you do these.
And
Landscape
replace-
upgrade,
right,
pressure wash
replace
the
the
building,
roofs.
stuff like that.
All right.
Okay, so should I just
No,
withdraw my motion?
no, hold on. I think Mr. Swing has a friendly amendment he can offer you to
Okay,
to resolve this.
As I can.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer a friendly amendment to the motion on the table, that the applicant will power wash the building and replace the roof like for like, under the condition that the landscaping is upgraded and possibly planters added with final approval by staff. And the friendly amendment.
I accept your very friendly amendment.
Okay, Ms. Palmer's accepted the friendly amendment, and the person that seconded the motion needs to also accept the friendly amendment.
Yes, Owens also accepts the friendly amendment.
Very good, okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor with a friendly amendment, so we're good there. Any other questions or comments? Staff, I'm looking at staff, does that take
Yeah,
care of?
Mr. Swing, you had pressure washing, upgrade landscaping, and there was one,
The roof.
Planners.
oh, the replacing the roof.
Like
That's right.
existing, yeah.
Like for like?
Like for like.
Yes, okay. All right, I'm looking at Brett. Staff, you good with that then?
Yep.
Okay. Applicant, how are you thinking about that?
Yes, sir, that works for me. The only question I would have would be, can we work with City of Alpharetta Inspections for the introduction of these notes? And
Yeah, you'll work with me.
include-
Yes,
Okay,
he's
All right.
your
Your
go-between.
okay. Okay.
Brett will be, Mr. Schroeder will be your go-between. Okay. There'll be no further questions. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion that includes the friendly amendment, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed? No opposition? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you for your time this morning, Eric.
Thanks, sir.
0. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for being prepared. Having actual samples really helps us. Okay, next up is Mr. White Creative. It looks like you're here. So let's give the last applicant just a moment to collect all his displays, and then we'll get started with you guys. I'm gonna look, I might have to dig deep into that. Okay. All right, we have Mr. White Creative this morning. Good morning, welcome. If you'll make sure you speak into the microphone, introduce yourself and include your home address, and then give us an overview of what we have in our packet this morning, please.
Yes, so I'm Christian. Good morning. I'm with Signs of Significance. We're representing Mr. White Creative. We're just doing some building signage. My address is 1384 Doublegate Drive, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like we have two signs, so walk us through each of the signs that you're presenting.
Yeah, so we'll start with the building sign
Okay.
up on the facade of the building. It's a halo-lit metal fabricated sign, so it's fabricated with aluminum. We're going to paint it that white right there. It's exactly just like all the other signs on the building. They're all fabricated aluminum, halo-lit. So we'll remove the old stuff, put the new one up. And then for the perpendicular sign.
Well, let's stay with the building sign just a minute.
Sure.
So do you have a drawing or an image that you can just show on the overhead for us what that looks like? Just,
I have it on my computer.
okay, all right,
Printed.
I can do it.
okay. Mr. Schroeder will help you out then. Just so we all understand that we're looking at the same thing. Make sure we're all clear. Okay, so this is the building sign that you were just referring to then?
Correct. Yeah, so it's gonna have some depth to it. It's gonna be spaced off the wall. And then there's lights on the inside of it that shine back towards the wall. So during the day, they'll be off. You'll just see that. It'll be painted white up there. And then at night, it'll have this halo glow to it. And that's just white LEDs as well.
Okay, and so the sign face will be painted white, which is what you were showing on the overhead, correct? That white
Correct.
color, okay.
And the returns are white, so white on the front, white returns, halo lit in the back.
Correct.
And it looked like the letters are 1.5 inches thick, and they're 1.5 inches standoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And it looks like you're going to try to center that sign between, I'm looking at the monitor now, between the tie back or the tie rods for the awning, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so their space is those 3 doors. So that's the main entrance door. And that's where the existing sign is currently. So yeah, like I said, we'll remove that and then put that just centered directly on their space, and then give space around those supports as well.
Okay. Is there any patching that you have to do for removing the existing sign?
Yeah, so we'll remove the old signage and we silicone the holes. So
So it was just, there were just holes there then through the brick to, okay.
yeah,
You can't use any of the same holes?
probably not.
No,
We can
probably
try.
not. No, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions about the,
So is that typical that you would just silicone the holes as opposed to try to patch them in a way that makes them less visible?
Whatever's gonna make it to us least
Yeah.
visible, yeah, I mean, you can, silicone
Clear.
color, I'm sure it's not just a clear silicone,
clear
it's
silicone.
try to match the color with the.
That's what I would think, right?
Yeah, but you definitely would want to use a silicone thing. I don't think you'd want to try to go back and match mortar color. I think that would be,
That would stand out.
yeah,
well, some of it's probably through the brick itself, so,
could be,
Trying to-
yeah, so it'd be
Get up there with a Sharpie.
it's a
well,
tough road to hoe.
I know, that's the problem with these mounted signs like this, right? As they change over time, you get more and more holes.
Yeah, I mean, really what you could do to facilitate something different would be to put a background, and then you still, if the background doesn't match what, like, we had a more linear sign before, so now we're going more square, so it's still, you're still
have the
gonna have
same
different
issue.
holes.
all right. Well, just do your best to try to match either the brick or the mortar as you patch those existing holes. And then two, I guess there's gotta be some sort of an electrical outlet box that provides the power,
Yeah, it's all interior.
okay?
Yeah, so just a wire will come through the brick to the
Okay.
letter.
Okay. And that's probably what you had before too, or the sign that had,
Yeah.
What is Mr. White Creative? What kind of business is it? Is it? Just curious.
We're a creative marketing branding agency.
Okay,
very good.
thank you.
Okay, all right, let's look at the blade sign then. In fact, looking at this photo, I see where the surreal, there we go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so we're not changing, we're just removing the old panel, putting a new one on, so we're keeping the arm there.
Okay.
And the new panel is very similar to what's
like it
currently
is.
there. That one had 2 more curved corners, I believe, and we've got just kind of more rectangular sign, but it's basically, it's the same dimensions, same colors. It's just got their stuff on it.
Okay,
Very creative.
It's made of HDU. It's high density urethane. It's a foam substrate. It's routed, painted. It's a 2-inch thick. We'll route a 1/4 inch in on each side.
And it's those colors, is it the same white background as the?
So these two.
yeah, we
We're not-
can't,
We're
all
not
right.
on that one.
I'll tell you what, why don't you just take that color sample and pass that around for us? Or not, oh,
Yeah,
that
so
one,
it's-
okay, I was thinking it was all on that other one, but you've got
Okay.
two.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's both the top samples. It's high reflective white and tricorn black. And then for the building sign, it's just the top white.
Okay. Pretty straightforward, pretty black and white.
Yeah.
There's no gray in this
Black
one.
and white.
So which one of you are Mr. White?
Who's Mr. Creative?
Okay, while that's being passed around, I'll ask for any public comment. Is there any public comment about this application this morning? For or against? There is none. Let the record stand, okay?
Have there always been stars on those awnings? I guess
I never noticed.
I had never noticed those.
Yeah, remember Tracy Ward was involved when we did that building, so he had
He was,
pretty intricate details.
okay.
Okay. Anything else? Are you doing anything else to the outside of the building besides the wall sign and the late sign?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
I think
All right,
we're on
Mr.
that.
Chairman, regarding DRB 240035, Mr. White Creative, motion to approve the building signage as presented. The motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 5-0. Very good. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, our next meeting is going to be September 20th, 2024.
It's my brother's birthday.
I think everybody will be here. Happy birthday to Ellie coming up, right?
I just had.
Past, that's right. Brett's coming up, so.
Brett's is
Okay, with there being no further business and with no objections from fellow board members, this meeting is hereby adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
I'll get him to contact you. Free advertising and stuff like that too, yeah, so I'll give it to him and I'll